Hello everyone, Stars RJ here. It's time to tip the scales for another game of Neverwinter Nights 2, Storm of Zehir. Well, in the last video, we slaughtered everyone in the Throne of the World Serpent. Maybe there's one or two people left, but they'll be dealt with in time. And unfortunately, John Megacycle died in combat. He died in combat against the Herald of Zehir and all its followers. However, I got some spare resurrection scrolls, so let's make sure he gets the happy ending. I mean, after all this effort, I mean, sure, he could have a heroic sacrifice and he could have a funeral and everything, but honestly, it never happened. So yeah. Anyway, let's go get the stuff looted. Yeah. So this, no one actually died. Yeah. So. No one actually died for real. Okay, it's all a lie. Yeah. Just want to establish that
okay.
That no one died and we all lived.
What do you want?
So there's only one thing left to do, and that's to confront Zehir.
Okay.
And what better way to confront Zehir than with his own sword? Tabitha, you now own the Fang of Zehir. I mean, sure, you're an archer and all, but why can't you have this cool? Why can't you have the cool sword? Let's speak to the Zehir folk.
Irritating mortals. This sad little victory of yours. What do you think you've really won?
We've won everything, man. Seriously, you're like a pair of floating eyes. And we are victorious. We are triumphant over your stupid little snakes. Your conspiracy is over. So come out and face me,
You've already dealt with my herald. But I am a god.
Oh,
I will not be such easy prey. And I have
really?
other concerns to occupy my attention with.
Like what, the 4th edition of D&D? Oh snap. No, but seriously, man, just come on out and face me, I mean, how is it to come out and face me? I mean, yeah, just do it.
Keep Samarak in your sword coast. Delayed me you have, but not permanently.
Oh, yes we have. We've delayed you. Well, okay, we delayed you, but maybe not, but you're a god. And what's the other gods going to do? They're probably going to say, no, you can't do that. So, you've been stopped.
Farewell for now, mortal. We will meet again. You can be certain of that.
Yes, we can. But come out and face me, you coward! Face me like... Just face me! You're some... Alright. Let's get going. There's one last thing to do. We need to go to the Viper Temple, and we need to tell Sasani about how we've defeated all the enemies. Just one last thing to do, and that's to go back home. Return to Sasani at the Viper Temple. See? Instant teleportation. There's only one nuance left. And then the threat is ended.
My scouts have brought me the news. Indeed, all in the area saw the result of the storm. House Sissean consumes itself with chaos, and the other clans have turned from their influence. The threat they pose to Chult, to the Sword Coast and beyond, it is ended.
So, what happens now?
Trade in the Sword Coast has been stabilized, thanks to you. And I shall do what I must to see that it stays that way.
Oh, well, you're not doing that at all, Sasani. The idea of letting you manipulate the Sword Coast behind the scenes disturbs me. I'm not letting that happen. Isn't that right? We don't want the Illuminati running everything. Illuminati? I thought this was the lizard people you were saying, the reptilians you're saying. What? I never said it was the reptilians. I said it was the Illuminati. The Illuminati rules everything. No, I clearly heard you said it was the reptilians. Now anytime it's the Illuminati? Illuminati reptilians. Jeez, aren't you paying attention here, Kid Rocks? Seriously, man. No, you really should get your conspiracies straight, okay? If it's gonna be one conspiracy, you should maintain it. Don't just say it's always been that way. Look, the Illuminati and the reptilians have always been working together, alright? There, how's that? Still not very consistent. Anyway, Arnie, you want to talk to her about this? Most certainly. Yes.
Because I'm a Yuan-Ti. Would you say the same if I were an elf or a dwarf?
Hey.
Why am I so different from the other races?
The Emperor says you should not turn this argument upon me.
Your people. You have had your time to deal with the Sword Coast, and ruin has resulted, death and destruction. We do not wish to enslave you. I wish to bring order, prosperity. I will do what I have to in order to see this happen.
You know who also said that? You know who also used those exact lines to justify ruining everyone's lives? Do you know who said it? Was it Hitler? Who's Hitler? Oh, right, medieval setting, Bayron, no Hitler. Yeah, I was going to say, the one person who said that, do you know who said those exact words? Who was it? The head of the Zehir Order, the Zehir Order, who runs everything behind the scenes. You're just making a conspiracy, aren't you? Pretty much, but this is Bayron. What do you expect? It's probably true, for all I know. Look, how about this? A bargain?
That sort of agreement will only hinder me. I need my hands free to do what is necessary.
Do what needs to be done? Well, Bio? You really going to challenge me?
Very well. You have my word. I will harm no one.
Farewell, Sasani. One last thing.
Amazing. Remarkable. To think that you faced down the herald of a god, and won! And I could tell the tale.
Yeah, I got
What
his sword
a story!
too. See? I got his spiffy sword as well. Look at it. Look at this thing.
I would let Lady Sasani know of your victory. Ah, such a wonderful end this will make in the book. I cannot wait to return to the keep and write it.
Alright then, head out there, Volo. But yes, I got Zehir's herald's spiffing sword. So, we've defeated the herald. We've defeated Zehir and his herald.
This is a spot. Don't move an inch.
Defeated Zehir and his herald. We've saved the world. We saved the Sword Coast and Samarak from the enemy. What do we do now? What should we do? I'll tell you what we should do. And you know what it is? We're going to Ninjalandia!
And so, dear readers, here ends my tale of sinister plots, heroism, and sacrifice. But what, you may ask, happened after the fall of Zehir's dread herald? What was the future of all the lives that were touched or undone by such events?
Volo's writing his book
Fear not,
now.
my good readers. As my name is Volothamp Gedon, I would not leave you in the lurch, though I am not an historian by occupation. I am a tireless investigator, and I here present what I was able to uncover. Though it played host to us for a time, by all accounts, Samarak remains unchanged. However, my sources whisper that certain high-ranking officials have fallen under Yuan-Ti control.
Don't know how to get the good ending on this one.
More troubling still is the uncertainty of whether the Yuan-Ti in question still bear
I mean,
fealty
probably
to
left one
their
or two
ancient
people
god
alive in the
Seth,
final temple.
or worship the vile interloper Zehir.
It's probably gives you the bad
Now,
ending.
As for the fate of the beleaguered Port Last,
See, straight to Port Last.
with the raging storms in the area put to rest, Port Last was able to repair itself and resume sea trade, slowly
Yay.
growing in size as it capitalized on the import of knucklehead ivory from Icewind Dale.
What's so great about it?
With Port Last free of Luskan invaders, Neverwinter forces acted quickly to re-secure the town, and Lord Nasher himself called the liberation of the town a hero's deed.
Indeed.
Her days of necromancy behind her, Naya returned to Port Last, reopening her magic store. Before long, she became known as one of the best resources for magical items in the northern Sword Coast.
Good on you, Naya, for winning.
But what of the tiny village of West Harbor, the childhood home of the great Knight Captain?
Everything prospered.
Safe at last, West Harbor began to grow and prosper. Jan continued to study magic, and with the combined efforts of Laszlo Buckman and Goodwife Aruna, the village became an excellent trading stop for merchants.
Well, at least they got a good ending.
Today, West Harbor is known as the hidden jewel in the Mere of Dead Men. Its harvest mead is known as the highest quality mead in all of northern Faerun.
Except for our mead.
As for souls who lent their aid, they too have not been forgotten.
Oh, you've forgotten a few of them.
After the events at the Temple of the World Serpent, Belueth's rage at the cults of Zehir seemed to intensify ever greater, as if she piled all the hate and anger in her heart at the feet of the god and his minions.
Yeah.
Eventually, the young woman disappeared from Neverwinter, though cultists tell tales of a yellow-haired woman who appears out of nowhere, slaughters their people by the dozens, and vanishes into the night like a ghost. Grick Bannersworn returned to his order, with tales of the deeds he performed and the things he had seen,
Standing
and
around
was honored
Crossroad
with a
Keep.
full title of Divine Champion by his superiors.
Divine Champion is standing around.
Though he was offered the command of a dozen soldiers, Grick politely declined, voicing his intent to see more of the world and learn of its ways, and personally hunt down the worshippers of dread Zehir and bring them to justice.
While sitting in the Crossroad Keep drinking.
Though almost endlessly impressed with the powerful creatures available to hunt on the Sword Coast,
Not as good as Samurai.
and
They're
Shula
dinosaurs.
Sarmasue eventually began to miss her older sister, Kwesi, and became homesick for her distant home of Tashalar. Carrying many impressive trophies of their hunts, Inshula and her sister returned home to Tashalar. In the chaos that followed the fall of House Sasehin, they worked tirelessly to keep their home city safe and remain as its guardian still. With her revenge on the party responsible for wrecking her beloved ship, the Vigilant, Lastri Kasira quickly returned to her true love,
Alcohol.
the sea.
Oh, wait.
Borrowing a sum from the merchant company, as an investment of course, Lastri purchased a trim little galleon she named the Serpent's Bane, and once more sailed the waters of toil, an excellent captain with a capable crew.
Tavern.
Though he stayed at Crossroad Keep for quite some time, learning patience and growing in power, Coral was unable to cool his heels in one location for long.
Oh, come on. Laura Smith.
When
would
a
be better than
story
that.
reached his ears hinting that his hero, Amon Jero, was rumored to be somewhere in the far east of the realms, the young half-drow packed his things at a moment's notice and set off eastward, in his wild eyes an unwavering determination to reach the far-distant realm of Thay.
Say hi to Sophia for me.
Regrettably, the fate of the mad monk, known only as Rib Smasher,
Oh, yeah, Rib Smasher.
remains somewhat of a mystery. Shortly after the events at the Temple of the World Serpent, he vanished from Crossroad Keep during the night, bound for parts unknown. The Grey Cloaks, who saw him run out of the entrance of the keep, claim they only heard his jubilant bellow of finding new ribs to smash before he vanished into the night.
Nice.
With the death of the Herald of Zehir, Septimund bid his companions farewell to return to the Temple of Kelemvor. On his way, he was moved to stop by Port Last, where a confident, changed Naya greeted him.
See? Did the plot line for him.
Slowly, the two began to reconnect, and once more a friendship bloomed between them. Though Septimund returned to the temple, he and Naya still write one another, and he returns to Port Last, often to be by her side.
Aww.
The loyal servant of Angarod, Soravora Erevan, remained with the adventuring party until shortly after their return to Crossroad Keep, stating that it did not seem a complete journey to her until she walked within the keep's walls once more.
Don't even know who this person is.
Her mission accomplished, the ancient elf reported shortly that her goddess had given her leave to return home, and so she set off alone into the wilderness as she began on the long journey back to Evermeet. Though greatly pleased with the unexpected directions his journey through the maze had taken him, Umoja bore a great concern within him about how the appearance of the god Zehir might affect his people back in the Cholton city of Mesro. Bidding their friends at Crossroad Keep farewell, the druid and his dinosaur companion returned to their home, eager to protect the people of Cholt from the subtle evil of their Wan Ti.
Cool.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. It learned several new murderous techniques from the courier, and built a blood shrine to itself in the cuckoo's nest. The cave floor was soon filled with the horror of 100 gutted toasters, a silent, grisly, unplugged audience. Their purpose? To toast bread, unfulfilled.
After slaying the Herald of Zehir, Honeystuffs decided that in order to safeguard the world, he had to go out there and find more gods to slay. He began to assemble a party of beautiful, deadly women to assist him when his true love appeared, the server terminal that sold him a parasite program in one of his invisible ink runs. He went to uphold his promise to love it forever and decided to marry it in a fantastic wedding ceremony. He died a few years later when engaged in battle with a really powerful and nasty god. The last words on his lips were, "Oh, Goshington!"
Biohazard 063 decided to retire from adventuring altogether after the last battle. He swiped John Megacycle's cape and then went to the Crystal Cave to start a family with the surviving wargs. Merchants and travelers have reported that the roads are much safer in the past few years as bandits and other ne'er-do-wells are beset upon by a pack of wargs with red glowing eyes. He does ask for some tribute to be thrown his way, but that's to be expected of such a great hero, and people are willing to pay.
Muggy continued to collect coffee cups until his wheel got flat just out of reach of a dirty coffee cup, and his tiny robotic brain exploded.
Kid Rocks decided to head back to his home to rest up for a new adventure. He was given a hero's welcome by his friends and family, and he had parades and parties in his honor. He stayed for a few weeks to rest up before hitting back on the road with his great axes into the night, training in the cold winds of Rusherman with the ice troll berserkers.
After the fall of the Herald, Codessa Sinclair came to the decision that he needed to find and execute the other gods who were against the God Emperor of mankind. He left the party and gathered a group of zealots dedicated to his cause, and they went on a rampage into the heavens, slaughtering all aliens, mutants, and heretics along the way. He called his new order the Inquisition.
John Megacycle had learned a lot through his adventures with Tabitha, and decided he had to get out more on the Sword Coast. He studied at various academies across Faerun, including those at Thay, Candlekeep, and Luskan. With his accumulated knowledge, he constructed his own academic fortress called Fort Megacycle, where he would use his knowledge to benefit the world.
Tabitha Mia went back to the merchant company following the disbandment of the party. She handed everyone a large share of the massive wealth they had accumulated and then set off on her own adventure, following the path of the Knight Captain Laura Smith. Her current whereabouts are unknown, but there are rumours that she went to a temple far beyond the Sword Coast, where there was a grand prize of almost unlimited wealth and the greatest challenges anyone has ever seen.
For those who aided the heroes along the way, their tales lie within these pages, never to be undone. Let us not forget the power of their deeds and words.
Yeah.
But most importantly, what of the fate of the Sword Coast and the beautiful merchant leader, Sasani? Because of the adventuring group's dedicated work into improving the economy of the Sword Coast and the massive economic strides made by Neverwinter thanks to their efforts, Sasani promoted the members of the group to be the company's co-owners.
Co-owners? We own the railroad.
Together, they utilized the merchant company's powers to restore Neverwinter's splendor, growing it into an economic powerhouse, with its heart located in the now massive structure of Crossroad Keep.
It's like Crossroad City.
After the vanquishment of the Sasane, Sasani abdicated leadership within the Soringar clan to return to Crossroad Keep, resuming her noble work restoring the economic prosperity of the Sword Coast.
Woohoo! Told ya.
True to her word, the elegant Sasani introduced many innovative initiatives to bring wealth and prosperity to the region, but never at the cost of lives or livelihood.
See? I got a Deus Ex vibe here.
She became known as an intelligent and fair businesswoman, and after a time, even her enforced promise of harming no one ceased to chafe her, and she appeared to be almost comfortable within human society.
Told ya. Humanity ensues.
This concludes my tale, dear readers. Though I know not when or how it may be read, one persistent concern still remains in my mind that I must share with you. These events, though seeming separate, have appeared to me to be more closely intertwined than I had previously imagined, each time that I think on them, and a grave chill freezes my bones when I do so.
Oh dear.
I hope here to report to the world the bravery of the heroes who faced down and defeated the Herald of Zehir, and enter such into legend. that such legends exist to inspire us in the days ahead. So, reader, I stand by my fear that something dreadful is coming, perhaps something that shall change the face of the realms forever.
Like, war. War never changes, but adventurers do, through the roads they travel.
I can only hope that brave heroes, like the ones that I was privileged to journey with, can step from obscurity and face the darkness when it arises. And to my friend, the esteemed Elminster,
Of course.
if this book sells well, I'm going to publish my work about nymphs in Samarak. I have an interested buyer. With flourish, Volothamp Gedarm, historian
Damn it,
and
Volo.
traveler of Faerun.
Damn it, Volo.
The end.
Volo's Guide to the Serpent Kingdoms. Wait, you can then all of a sudden, you can actually, yes, that's right, you can actually tell Volo he read it all wrong. Okay, then, where'd he got it wrong?
So, dear reader, but what? Fear not.
What kind of impression do you think you made on the Samarak and Logals? A good one.
From what I've heard, it seems Samarak is experiencing a renewal of sorts, relaxing some of their more stringent requirements for entry and becoming slightly less offensive to foreigners.
Woohoo!
Though I would love to claim credit for this, I must admit that it should go to the adventuring party, who went out of their way to aid the nation, and thus perhaps won some grudging thanks from them.
See? The blue, it took a blue adventurer to save everyone. Bluey saves the day. Alright, so I killed the priest. Actually, no, I stopped the storms. I left the prioress alive. I let Naya live. And I eliminated the Nuskin presence. That's it.
Now, with the raging storm, with
Yep.
Port Last free, her days of necromancy.
Okay, I stopped the cult. I stopped Shaden. Like, what? Okay, I stopped. Let's see. I stopped his cult. Oh, but then it changed. Watch, I slew the Black Dragons. That's it.
But what of the tiny village
Watch
of West
this.
Harbor, the childhood home of the great Knight Captain? Safe at last, West Harbor began to
Okay.
grow and prosper. Jan continued to study magic. Today, West Harbor...
Okay, so I tried those options before, and suddenly I was told I lost everyone and the village was ruined. This never actually happened. Like, seriously, I made myself director of the Forgotten Lords, and this is what happens?
And what of the merchant factions of Neverwinter City? Fear not, their progress is marked as well. With the assistance of the brave adventurers, the power of the Forgotten Lords expanded tremendously, making the Sword Coast branch one of the most successful in the realms. For her capable service, Astra Maris was promoted to be the new leader of the organization.
I thought I was going to be the leader. Then again, I was the director. None of them. Let's go with all of them. Let's go with every single one of them. It's all of them?
As for Soul, after the event,
Yep, did that
Cheer
one.
Darkflame decided not to return to the Underdark, and instead wander the world in search of magical knowledge. Though she stayed for a time in the Thayan Enclave in Neverwinter, she was soon thrown out because of some unforgivable act.
She did science.
My sources say she then wandered north to Luskan, and rumors speak of a sweet but terrifying little Svirfneblin wizard who is teaching the
Svirfneblin.
Host Tower mages new and horrifying things to do to their enemies.
Oh dear.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough, and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Finch the Bard used his experiences in the employ of the merchant company to create a few promotional songs for the Church of Joaquin, for which he was paid handsomely.
Awesome.
With his earnings, the handsome Bard bid a farewell to the Sword Coast once more, and claimed there was far more of the world he needed to see before he was ready to cede his soul to Sune.
Mm-hmm.
The last anyone saw of him, Finch was boarding a ship, bound for the distant land of Kalimshan, and already wooing a lovely young noblewoman on board.
Oh, you.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Banner swore, carrying many with her revenge, though he stayed across regrettably, with the death of the loyal servant, though greatly for those who aided the hero.
Alright, what do you say of Sasani? Let her live, made a promise to protect the Sword Coast, and how would you rate it? Very successful.
But most importantly, because of the adventuring groups together, they utilized the merchant company after the vanquishment of the Sasane. Sasani, true to her word, she became known. This concludes my tale, dear reader. These events, I hope here. So, reader, I can only hope that. And to my friend, with flourish, the end.
And there you go. That's how it really ended. That's how it really ended all of it. Thank you for watching. I've been Styles RJ, and I've tipped the scales, literally, in the favor of Faerun. I think it's time to experience the credits now. And then, perhaps in another video, I'll give out a proper conclusion for both Storm of Zehir and Mask of the Betrayer. On second thought, let's not go to Ninjalandia. It's a rather desolate place. Right.